Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samar News. Here are today's headlines.
President Donald Trump has said that talks with Iran could resume within the next 2 days, with Pakistan likely to host the next round. Speaking to the New York Post, he said Washington is more inclined to return to Islamabad, praising Pakistan's leadership for facilitating dialogue. He specially praised Field Marshal Asim Munir, saying he was doing a great job. About the choice of venue for the next round, Trump said the parties would not go to some country that has nothing to do with the peace efforts. The remarks come after earlier negotiations in the capital, as both sides weigh another attempt to revive talks.
US Vice President JD Vance has said the United States has made significant progress in recent talks with Iran, but the next move now rests with Tehran. Speaking on Fox News' special report with Brett Baer, Vance said negotiations with Iran had made a lot of progress. However, he stressed that despite positive signals, Iran did not move far enough toward agreement during discussions. He made it clear that any further diplomatic steps depend on Iran's response. According to him, the ball is in Iran's court regarding the future of negotiations.
Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian says the country is not seeking unrest and has remained compliant with international law. Speaking during a Tehran visit, he questioned the justification for attacks on Iran, insisting the country had not violated any laws. Earlier, an Iranian military spokesperson had called US restrictions on international shipping piracy after President Trump imposed a blockade on Iranian ports. Over at the United Nations, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said it is highly probable that talks to end the Iran conflict will restart. Speaking to reporters, he stressed the need for negotiations to continue, warning that such a complex conflict cannot be resolved in a single round. Guterres also praised Pakistan's role in facilitating dialogue and said Field Marshal Asim Munir was doing a great job on the talks.
China has said that a US blockade around Iranian ports was dangerous and irresponsible after US President Donald Trump threatened to sink any boats that sought to leave or dock there. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiakun told a news conference that the US increased military deployments and took a targeted blockade action, which will only exacerbate tensions and undermine the already fragile ceasefire agreement and further jeopardize safety of passage through the strait. Furthermore, he said that China would impose countermeasures after US President Donald Trump threatened new tariffs on its goods entering the United States if Beijing provided military assistance to Iran during the war. Chinese President Xi Jinping has called for a more robust and dynamic partnership between China and the Arab world. Speaking during a meeting in Beijing, Xi emphasized that the world is undergoing unprecedented changes, requiring stronger international cooperation and unity. He highlighted that humanity is currently facing critical choices between peace and war and between unity and confrontation. He stressed that closer China-Arab relations are essential to navigating global instability and promoting shared development.
At least 6 Palestinians, including 2 children, have been killed in Israeli fire across the Gaza Strip. According to the latest information pouring in, a strike in Gaza City hit a police vehicle, killing 4 people, including a child, and wounding several bystanders. The occupation forces killed another man in northern Gaza, while a separate incident near Jabalia left a 3-year-old child dead. The violence adds pressure on a fragile ceasefire, with both Israel and Hamas continuing to trade blame for violations. On the other hand, Israeli and Lebanese envoys have met in Washington in a rare diplomatic encounter amid ongoing tensions in the region. Israel is pressing for Hezbollah's disarmament while ruling out any discussion of a ceasefire as fighting continues in Lebanon. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who hosted the talks, called the meeting a historic opportunity and hoped the parties would begin to move forward. The talks come as Iran insists the Lebanon front must be included in any wider agreement. The International Monetary Fund has warned that the Middle East war is raising global financial stability risks, driven by rising inflation and energy prices. In its semi-annual Global Financial Stability Report, the IMF says equity markets have fallen while bond yields have surged, with disruption in the Strait of Hormuz pushing oil prices higher. Urging policymakers to stay prepared for potential shocks, the fund warned that prolonged conflict could tighten funding conditions, strain private credit markets, and slow investment in artificial intelligence.
On the other hand, Pakistan is exploring Eurobonds, sukuk, commercial borrowing, and support from friendly countries to replace a $3.5 billion facility from the United Arab Emirates and protect its foreign reserves. At the same time, Finance Minister Mohammad Aurangzeb says the country is staying committed to debt repayments, reform targets, and broader economic stability. Speaking in Washington on the sidelines of the IMF and World Bank meetings, Aurangzeb said all options are on the table when asked whether the government was in talks with Saudi Arabia for a loan that could replace the UAE facility. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samar.tv. Thank you for watching Samar News.